Hello, thank you for joining me for the winning horoscope forecast for April. It is a little bit late appearing this time, and I apologise for that. The winner is a little chum, and so I may have to look away at times, unlike when I usually do the horoscope stuff, because that just comes into my mind, but I need to look down at the chart wheel, which I've just printed. Now, the first thing I need to tell you is that this person was born on the 16th of February and in 1970 and in South Wales. Now, the 16th of February, although it is just Aquarius, in fact it's 27 degrees, it's quite late in the day, it's getting towards the cusp of Pisces. And very often Mercury and Venus are quite close to the Sun, and so it is in this situation. Mercury is actually in Aquarius. In fact, it's really right at the start, so it's much more Saturnian. But Venus is just over the cusp into Pisces, so we actually have a conjunction between the Sun and also Venus. Now, the Sun and Venus in a conjunction gives a person particular charisma and warmth, and that's a lovely thing to have. And this person's Sun and Mercury are in the first house, so there's something quite unique being an Aquarian as well. And the more Uranian side of Aquarian nature is borne out by the Sun, and the more Saturnian side by Mercury. So that combination with Venus, what house sign is Venus in? It's actually in the second. So Venus in the second is someone who has a real appreciation of good food, sensuality, the nice things in life, whether it's fabrics, clothes, going to nice places. And also perhaps a comfort and ease with being up close and personal. But with the Sun being in the first house and Mercury being there too, there's also an intrinsic need to be individual, reinforced by that Aquarian vibe. And then the Moon, which is obviously absolutely crucial, actually falls in Cancer. So what we get, and it's in the sixth house, which is very much to do with being practical and being someone who is very much aware of their obligations to other people, responsibilities. So what we've got is someone who's a free spirit on one hand and needs a certain amount of space, and yet on the other hand you've got the much more emotional aspect or influence of the Moon in Cancer, although it is quite practical. Now, the other thing that's obviously vitally important is the ascendant, and that's quite early in Capricorn. In fact, it's just checking here, it's 8 degrees, so it's conjunct where Pluto is at the moment, transiting Pluto. So this is a person who's probably going through a profound change in their life just now. And it's as if some things are really melting away and new structures are emerging. Now, I told you that Venus was in the second house, but you know, so is Mars. So this desire principle, and remember Mars is about I want it now, and it's in Aries as well, so very thrusting and go-getting, and that's in the second house as well, along with Venus. So that just raises the prospect that this person has an appreciation of the good things in life, may be motivated towards having nice things, but also in a more sensual sense, there is an ease, I would imagine, in that regard. However, with Jupiter in the ninth house, but in Scorpio, we have some contradictions, because a little bit like the contrast we have between the freedom-loving of Aquarius and the more codependent energies that can come up with a Moon position, this is something that's really about doing your own thing, and yet the second house is very much about stability. It's about keeping things on an even keel. And also the Moon for this person, the Moon in Cancer, is actually squaring with Uranus. And Uranus is a very rebellious planet. As you know, it's in Aries now, full-time, has been since last March. Did have a brief sojourn into Aries the year before, but now it's there for some time. But when this person was born, Uranus was in actual fact in Libra. Now Libra is, this Libran Uranus is forging a fine angle with Mercury. So this is a person who's able to think about the big picture, see things from an idealistic viewpoint, but that need for intimacy yet freedom comes up again because of the Scorpionic angle, the Scorpionic influence. So we have a contrast. Now, there is an opposition between Saturn and also Jupiter. And this is not an easy one to reconcile, particularly as one is in the 9th house and the other in the 3rd house. So it seems to me that communications at times may not be particularly easy, knowing whether to be very individualistic, which comes from all that Aquariusness, or keep things on an even keel, which comes from all that Tauran and Scorpio influences. So really that's something that this person is probably juggled with. Also Mercury, the planet of communication, does in fact square with Saturn, and this can suggest periods of low energy or feeling out of sorts, or feeling that life isn't going their way, maybe even feeling a bit depressed at times. The other thing I noticed looking through this chart just before I began was that the part of fortune is also opposed by the midheaven, or the part of fortune opposes the midheaven, suggesting that there isn't always fortune as far as work is concerned, but there is a tremendous amount of positive aspects in this horoscope that make this person very, very personable. There's trines and sextiles and conjunctions around the sun, the moon, and also Mercury. And you have to drill down into it a little bit deeper to see where everything is going on. Also, I would say that this is a person who can at times, with the sun squaring up to Neptune, because the sun is so late in Aquarius and Neptune is just 0 degrees in Sagittarius, there can be times when this person doesn't really know what they want or even know who they really are. So it can be a little bit of an identity situation. Some people with this aspect can almost kid themselves to who they are, but I think the Aquarian and the Sagittarian principles here will help this person to be very self-honest, or more self-honest than this aspect would lend itself to some other people. So we have here a person essentially who is very much grounded in the real world in some ways, and yet in other ways needs to be very much a free spirit, do their own thing, doesn't like to be tied down, needs to have a certain amount of oxygen to breathe. And that might be the life path here, is to balance exactly what they want. And at times there may be trades that have to be made, like for all of us. I hope that's been of interest to you, and obviously very much to them. It's been a pleasure being with you. Thank you for joining me. Good luck and goodbye. If you'd like a live reading with one of my team of video psychics or astrologers, please click on the link beneath this video. You can chat by text for free, or if you have a formal reading and you're not happy, I guarantee 100% you'll get your money back. How good is that? So please enjoy this fantastic opportunity.